So, I was in a 6-year relationship and we had house and had gotten engaged in February 2019. Since the engagement, the small red flags of his toxic behavior came out. He had no intention of getting married and would even joke that if I got pregnant, he would push me down the stairs. So fast forward to August time and he went to a leaving party with his work lot. Note he wasn't someone that partied hard, but he didn't come home until 2 a.m. I asked how his night was and he was normal and said all was fine. Fast forward again, toy birthday in early September, my 30th birthday to be exact. Some would say this should be a special one, but yeah. Come to my actual birthday and he hasn't got me anything and asked me what I want instead. I jokingly say, oh, how about some McFly tickets, a band I hadn't listened to in a few years. He gets said tickets but also orders a Pandora charm, which was never my choice, but he wanted me to have a Pandora bracelet, as that's what women should have. Totally missed that memo, and dumb old me went along with it. 2 days later, after my birthday, he comes home and says we should break up, and something inside me said, this is your chance to go. So I agreed, and he seemed confused as to why I wasn't upset, etc. I went and stayed with my mum for a few days to get away from any awkwardness. I was then in a supermarket a week later when my neighbour approached me and asked who the young girl was that was going into my house. Of course I had no idea, but I knew my ex was at work that evening, so I thought I'd pop by and have a nose. Also note I had moved my stuff out by this point, so had no reason to go back. When I arrive, the front door is locked on the catch, which can only be done from the inside, but he definitely wasn't there. So I head round the back and make my way through the kitchen door. I found all of this girl's stuff around the house. She'd obviously just moved in as soon as I'd gone. I mean, I was glad to be out of the relationship, but I was thinking, wow, this douche actually cheated and didn't have the guts to admit it. So psycho mode kicks in. I got both toothbrushes and urinated on them. I spat in the kettle. I then also poked holes in all the newly bought condoms in his side drawer. But that wasn't all. I headed back to my mum's after this, feeling pure adrenaline, and I suddenly realized I could probably guess his passwords to his email and Facebook, so I gave it a go, and lo and behold, I got in. So turns out his party is where the relationship with the young girl had started. They got a lift back and were in the back seat and shared their first kiss, which they spoke about in messages, which is also where she asked him if have you dumped her yet, on the day he came home to end things. On his emails I could see that at the end of August he had booked tickets to Longleat and a travel lodge for in October, which I found out later was around her birthday. But get this, our first trip away together was also to Longleat, but the rinse and repeat stories are for another time, so I didn't get a before thought for my 30th, but the 20-year-old got her trip away lol. He also had his Pandora receipt with an extra charm in the same basket, which I didn't receive. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. But even funnier, I found out recently they got engaged themselves, but with my old engagement ring. Haha. But I am now in a healthy relationship with a very loving man, and we are planning on starting IVF to have a baby, and I couldn't be happier. I'm totally petty though, and this guy is known as a nice guy, and I have only told my close friends what happened. So 4 years down the line seems like a good time to share.